Get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. Pattison on Fox Sports Knoxville. This is Fan Run Radio.
And here we go live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's overtime with William Pattison, Jeremy Inslee, and Tyler Barbaras joining you on a Tuesday from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yo.
We appreciate you hanging out with us. We do apologize for the delay. We went a little bit long on the slate, but now we're back and everything's all good. And we've got a packed hour ahead of us. As a little bit later on, we'll talk about the quarterback situation for the Cleveland Browns. General manager and owner Jimmy Haslam had some stuff to say today about the quarterback situation and what he believes is, a good situation in Cleveland. I disagree. We'll talk about that. Buy or sell in college football. What is one team you're buying? What is one team you're selling? As we're only less than 30 days away from week 0. So it's coming up on us quick, and we'll tell you which teams we're in and out on. But we'll begin today with our first things first topic, and that is Hot Mike Heupel. With Tennessee football's fall camp starting on Wednesday, Vols head coach Josh Heupel met with the media to preview the string of practices leading up to the season. He hit on the topics of Boo Carter, the quarterback situation, and more after an offseason full of drama and speculation. And my golly, was this a long offseason waiting to get to this point. We'll begin with Boo Carter, as that's been one of the talks of the town as of late. Heupel opened up about Boo, saying, quote, I know at some point I'm going to get a question about Boo. At least he was able to read the room. So I'm going to address that right now. Boo is a part of our team here. There's some things that he's got to accomplish to get back on the field with us and don't have a set timeline on that. Our leadership council has been a part of those things, those discussions with me and with Boo. I'm proud of what they've done. They care and love Boo and want him to do his best too. What does this mean to have Boo Carter back on Tennessee's roster? And we'll talk more about the leadership as well. Tennessee bringing back Boo Carter is really, really big. I know over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk about what Boo has done and not done and where he is and where he's not, whatever it may be. But Boo Carter is a playmaker. And for a team that has lost a lot from last season, you need guys on this roster that can make plays. For Boo, it's on the defensive side of the ball at the star position. The rover in the middle of the field, the guy that is one of the last lines of defense. That's a very important position. On the special teams side of the ball, he's the punt returner. He's the guy that can give you 20, 30 yards of an advantage on a punt return and possibly break off a big play. That's really important. And then also, this is a guy that's supposed to be in your offensive unit this season. So you combine all of these things, and Boo Carter sums up to be one of your most important players on the team. And I get it. There were some things that went wrong this offseason. But once you put the pads on, all of that kind of goes away, and you can battle through adversity, and you can figure this stuff out in-house. So now that talking season is over, it's time to get back to football. And it's time for Boo Carter to, put on the helmet, put on the pads, and do what he loves to do, and that is play football. So it's huge for Tennessee because you return one of your best playmakers on a roster that loses a lot, has some big questions at wide receiver, has a significant injury to one of their best players on the team in Jeremiah McCoy, and Carter is in that secondary alongside McCoy, going to have to fill that role. And now you also don't have to worry about replacing Boo, because when Nico Iamaleava left, it was detrimental, but at least you had the transfer portal open. If Boo Carter left this team, was dismissed from this team, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So Boo Carter returning is obviously huge. We'll talk more about the leadership council and that aspect here in a second. But overall, this is a big win for Tennessee after an offseason that has been tumultuous as can be. Tyler, getting your opinion on this, what does it mean to have Boo Carter back in the lineup?
I think the most important thing, I mean, outside of him being in the lineup, which I'll touch on, is the fact that, this no tolerance, policy is like firmly being established here in Knoxville. I mean, it stems from the Nico thing. It stems from the Boo thing. And now that we know all the details about it, it does seem like it was kind of a misunderstanding on both sides. But I feel like both Boo and Heupel and whoever else was in this whole fiasco, they've done a very good job of just finding a middle ground. And I think that's very important. And I think that it shows a lot of these, recruits that this is a team that doesn't take a lot of BS, and they know their identity. So I think this situation, I think, shows, these highly coveted recruits, these 4 or 5 stars, like, all right, this team, this program, they got their head screwed on. They got a good head on their shoulders. I think that's the most important thing. But what Boo does for the lineup, and we touched on this a little bit on the slate last hour, he's so versatile. And you've seen so many players who can benefit and impact a team in so many ways in college get drafted to the NFL, and it translates, right? Like Kyle Hamilton, I use his name a lot because, 1, I'm a Ravens fan, and 2, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything you want him to do on defense. Boo Carter, not that he can do as much on the defensive end, but he can do so much to impact the game on all 3 levels: special teams, on offense, and on defense. Now, on offense, the sample size is going to be a little bit smaller. I only expect him to get maybe 15 snaps on offense. Run, 12 routes out of 15, use him as a decoy. I think that's really important too. They're like, oh, there's Boo on the field. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's a gadget player that, this Tennessee team can really, really use on offense to their advantage. I think that's very important. And even if he doesn't have this absurd workload and target rate that I feel like a lot of fans want him to have, he's not that player that is going to get 10 targets a game. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that can get 3 targets a game, all on 3rd downs. You get the ball to him in a flat and you just let him work. Mm-hmm. And even if he doesn't get a 1st down, you're at a 4th and 2 on the 50. And guess what? They're going for it. Like, there are a lot of plays that Boo is going to be able to make on offense and on the special teams that is going to help this Tennessee football team greatly. And I think field position too is another thing that we talked about, Jeremy. Mm-hmm. His ability just to cut up and find open grass and turn a 8-yard punt return to a 25-yard punt return. Instead of being on the 32-yard line, all of a sudden you're on their 48. You know what I mean? Like, that's how important of a player I think Boo is. And that's why when I saw this news, I was like pretty devastated. I was like, this is a guy that I think is going to be a top 5 player for this Tennessee team next year. Maybe even a top 3 player for this team. And just with this versatility, I think it's so important. And I think that his best fit is here in Knoxville because of how Heupel uses players same archetype as Boo Carter.
Well, welcome in, Jeremy. Jeremy, what do you make of the now, maybe not return or addition, but just I don't know, he's not leaving. We'll just put it like that. What do you make of Boo Carter sticking around?
It has to be a calming effect. I mean, you lose Nico, and then, just a couple of weeks ago, you're hearing all this news about Boo. This has to just be a calming effect for UT fans. I mean, to lose a playmaker like Boo, I mean, that just would have been devastating on top of everything else. You're not quite sure what your receiver room is going to be looking like this year, who's going to be explosive, how they will mesh. You bring in a new quarterback, so there's a lot of questions that UT fans have going into this season. And having Boo, I mean, it just calms things down. I mean, whether or not he will be an offensive juggernaut, I mean, that still has yet to be seen. But at least for the defensive side of the ball, you have somebody out there that is competent. He can make plays, and at least he can shore up things on your back end. So getting Boo back, I mean, it's definitely huge. And it just has to be just a relaxation moment for all UT fans.
Now, Josh Heupel and a lot of others today did a lot of talk about the Leadership Council. And I think this is really significant because a couple of months removed from the Nico Iamaleava situation where a guy that was highly touted coming in, was the talk of the town, all of these great things. But one thing he wasn't was a leader, and that was very much absent last season. And when you have someone like that go down, where Josh Heupel talks about there's no one bigger than the power T, and we want the guys that want to be in this building, and we want those type of players to perform for us. The leadership council today, I thought, was significant because we've never really heard Heupel talk about a leadership council, and that shows me that they have grown and learned from what happened a couple of months back with Nico. They have guys in the locker room that have been around here for a while that want to set a standard, that want to set a precedent of this is how things are run. This is how we do things at Tennessee. There is no one bigger in this locker room than the helmet we play for, and that's the power T on the side. It's not about the name on the back. It's about who you're playing for as a team. And hearing that leadership council continuously mentioned today shows me that this group has grown up, and they've got guys in the locker room that are holding others accountable. So if you want to pull a stunt like this, there are going to be repercussions. Boo Carter's a great player. He needs to be on the field, but he's going to have to, do some things to get back onto the field. That sets a precedent. So you don't have other guys going in and trying to do the same thing, that you don't have other recruits coming in and say, oh, hell, Nico had his own way. Boo Carter was able to kind of stomp on everyone. Then what makes me not be able to do that? That's what changes everything. When you have a leadership group, when you have guys in the locker room that are veterans and step up for what is right, I really, really like that. And that was on full display today. Leadership in a locker room, so very important. I continue to bring this example up, but Ohio State last year, they lose to Michigan in the final game of the season. That is a lot of adversity. That is the fourth time they have lost to Michigan, and that is a bitter rival for them. And Michigan was dog crap last season. And Ohio State, the national championship team, lost to them at home in the final game of the year. Instead of pouting and pointing fingers, that group then turned out to be one of the most successful and most dominant postseason runs we've ever seen. That is what it takes to have a championship level team. Guys in the locker room that are strong-minded and are willing to gather around each other in moments of adversity. We'll move from that to the quarterback position, because that's obviously a big topic of conversation, and Josh Heupel probably knew that as well. And he talked about the quarterbacks a good bit, but I pulled this quote out today saying, quote, with George, Joey, and Merck, as he refers to Jake Merklinger by his last name, well, kind of butchered last name, Merck, a nickname, if you will. All three of those guys have done an elite job of competing and pushing each other throughout the course of the summer. They've grown. They're at different stages in their careers as far as eligibility, years on task inside of our program, what we're doing offensively. They've helped each other through the journey of the summer, and I think that's going to be important as we get into training camp too. And we'll get into what are we looking for over the next couple of weeks through training camp and in particular this quarterback competition. Gone are the days now of having these talking points. We're about to get video evidence of what it looks like. Who's throwing picks? Who's not performing well? Who's really dazzling? Maybe we'll get, some Joe Milton-esque 75-yard bomb pictures and videos. From the orange. Yeah, whatever it may be. Some theatrics. But what I'm looking to hear in training camp is that this is a healthy competition between Jake Merklinger and Joey Aguilar. It's competitive. It's tight, because that means that you've either really got two good options, or it could be bad, I guess, too. You got two guys that just aren't playing that well.
If you got two QBs, you got none.
Yes, and that is true. But I want a healthy competition here. I want two guys that are performing at really high levels to where it's like, man, either guy could win. And that's what I've really been propping up this whole summer. Joey Aguilar, yes, is the guy that transfers in, but that doesn't mean he's given the job. Jake Merklinger's been here for 2.5 seasons and has a full understanding of the offense and is a really good mobile quarterback in the backfield, to where he's got a good arm, but he can also dance around and extend plays with his legs. Joey Aguilar has played a lot of college football, which is good. That's the type of guy you want going into a season, but both of them bring something different. So what I want to hear out of this quarterback competition is that it is very competitive, it is healthy, and that both guys are working to get better and pushing each other to get better. And look, we probably won't have an answer until a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of days before the final game. Hell, we might not even know going into game day, but at least if we have two options that are viable, I'm good with that, and that's all I want to hear. That's what I'm looking for heading into the season and heading into training camp. Jeremy, quarterback competition, two quarterbacks, you got none, but what if you have two good options here?
With this QB competition, for me, if I was a UT fan, what I'm looking for is who can stay on time. Okay, Heupel's offense is about timing first and foremost. I don't know if it would be as fast-paced as what people seen when Hooker was here, but timing is still everything with this offense. What you really want to see is somebody who can identify a coverage quickly, get the ball there quickly, and let's move on. So whoever can do that best, I believe, will end up coming out on top of this QB competition. Merklinger being here 2 or 3 years, you would think that he would actually have the best shot at being the starter. Like you mentioned, you bring in Joey, but that doesn't automatically declare him as the starter.
Yeah.
So the competition should definitely be healthy because I think you got two guys who want to prove that they are a starter and that they can lead a program, especially with the fact one that's been here and one that's been at a couple stops and now trying to prove that he is actually an upper echelon, a D1 quarterback, and possibly trying to up his status for the draft. So this competition should be healthy, but timing. If I'm the number one thing I would key in on is timing. Who is getting the ball out and to the receiver on time, and are you identifying the weakness in the coverage?
Yeah. Tyler.
Yeah, for me, I mean, William, you kind of nailed it. The competitiveness, right? You want these guys to get better. I mean, I don't think that Joey Aguilar comes in here and is like, oh, I'm the guy. You're going to have to get through me. Like, no, bro. Like, you haven't, deserved anything here. Like,
no, bro.
Like, I don't care if you've played college football for 4 years already at Appalachian State. Like, this is the SEC. And I mean, there are other quarterbacks in this room that could be better than you and maybe even are better than you. So, like, you gotta, carry your weight and prove to people why you're the guy here. And then for Merklinger, it's like he was recruited very heavily here. He stayed here through all this QB controversy. Like, even if Nico Imaliava never left Tennessee, Merck probably still wouldn't be the, number one quarterback. And maybe he would have left then if that was the case. But this is a guy that, like William, you said, he understands the system. He wants to be here and he works his tail off every day. Those are qualities that I want to see in a quarterback, especially at the college level. Talent-wise, we don't have a very big sample size of Merklinger, but we have a bigger sample size from Joey, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you have with Joey, right? Kind of more like a gunslinger guy, and he has some really good years. He's had some really bad years. Now, my take on it is you're playing at Appalachian State where the competition isn't nearly as good as it is in the SEC. Can he translate? If he's doing well at practice against a really, really stout Tennessee defensive unit, especially too over the next coming weeks when they go full pads and they're actually practicing like they play. If he's the guy there, and if he's the most impressive, then yeah, he should be your starter, right? But I feel like the concern is that he won't translate, or he can have a repeat of the year that he had last year compared to his 2023 year, where that was his best year. Had a 68% completion rate, had I think 30 or something touchdowns. The interceptions were lower than last year, where he had a completion percentage I think below 58%, was very inefficient, threw a good amount of turnovers. But this is a guy that just has absurd arm talent. So for me, it's you have to. Heupel has to decide what he wants. Do you want a guy that could maybe win you games off of his talent and off of his skill set and off of him being a veteran alone, that being Joey Aguilar? Or do you want a guy in Merklinger who maybe does have a little bit more upside, who does understand, like you said, Jeremy, the timing of the offense? That's so important with Tennessee. Hendon Hooker was the king of timing. That's why Jalen Hyatt won the Blenkintoff, right? Because of their timing, because of their chemistry. If Merklinger has really good chemistry with Mike Matthews and Aguilar has really good chemistry with like Miles Kitselman. It's like you kind of have to decide like where you want to go there. Do you want Heupel just has to choose like what direction he wants to go in, because if Merklinger does end up starting and is the guy, let's say he has a really damn good year. Now you have Faison Brandon coming in next year. Now you're going to have to make another decision. So it's like, is that in the back of your mind? Do you want to start Joey just because like you know that he'll be gone in 1 year and then Faison can come in and just slot in for you? There are a lot of things that I'm looking at, but I think the most important thing is Heupel has to know what type of quarterback he wants running the show.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We'll switch over to the defensive side of the ball real quick. Jermon McCoy, one of the best defensive backs in the country, the best defensive back on this Tennessee roster, suffered an injury in January, an ACL, during a off-season training session, if you will. And we originally were told that McCoy would be ready by kickoff, give or take a couple of weeks. But today, Josh Heupel gave an answer when asked about Jermon McCoy that is particularly concerning, saying, quote, "No timetable on him. There are benchmark things that he's got to accomplish within our training room to move on to the next phase of it. He's handled it really well from the very beginning. Just his mindset, and now he's approached every single day. He's done a really good job throughout the course of the summer." But the most damning part of that quote is no timetable on him. And the no timetable part scares me, because originally we were told that this was going to be a thing that would probably, be around kickoff. And that's what they originally reported. And that maybe, give or take a couple of weeks, he'd probably be ready for the Georgia game. That's the big one, assuming he'd get out there for the start of SEC play. No timetable on him seems more like coach speak bad than coach speak good. If it were coach speak good, we anticipate having him, kickoff, and he probably missed the Syracuse game, probably missed the ETSU game. Everyone's like, oh, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And he comes out for Georgia. No timetable tells me this guy might not play for 5 to 6 games this season, until that Mississippi State game. And that's going to be a problem, especially when you go up against Georgia, because I believe this is the best chance Tennessee has to beat Georgia under Heupel. Early in the season, a new quarterback for the Bulldogs. On the road, we saw Georgia struggle with Kentucky last season. This is a golden opportunity for Tennessee to steal a win and possibly gain some big-time momentum heading into the rest of the year. Kind of like a mulligan for a game like Alabama or Florida. If you lose those games, you've already beaten Georgia. As long as you don't suffer 3 losses to Alabama, Oklahoma, Florida, you're in the college football playoff. So it's a huge opportunity. And with everything Georgia added through the portal, guys like Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas on top of who they already have, and Colby Young and Dylan Bell and Oscar Delp, you need to be fully healthy. And Jermon McCoy not being available for that Georgia game, I think, is really, really important. And if Heupel believed that McCoy would be available around that time, I feel like he would have said around kickoff. That's kind of how coach speak works. No timetable is kind of eerie to me, and I think that would be a huge, huge development for this upcoming season. Guys, I'll get your opinion on it real quick. About 2 minutes before the break here. Does this timetable scare you, considering what you got to go up against this year?
Definitely. Now, I will say this, though. It could possibly be that he may be trying to throw people off scent. But if he's not, yes, this scares the mess out of you because he's vital to your defense. But, I spoke on this a couple weeks ago. Yes, he has plenty of things that he has to do in order to show that he can be on the field. If he's not making the necessary cuts, if he's not able to plant and then come up, if he's not able to flip his hips, turn and pick up speed as he's trying to, lock in with the receiver. I mean, there are so many steps that, yes, he has to clear, because you don't want his performance to dip as to where now he's looked upon as a lesser player. If he comes back, you want him to be at 100, and you want him to be effective when he comes back. So if that means that he has to miss the Georgia game, then so be it, because you rather he missed the Georgia game than for him to be in the Georgia game and not be at his full potential.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I mean, I know that's Jesus. That has to be scary. Lord have mercy. I can't fathom losing Caleb Downs. I mean, that's a totally different circumstance, but still losing a highly touted defensive player, especially in your secondary. I mean, all prayers go up for him, and hopefully that he can come back. But to get him back at the middle of the season, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, because you still have Florida, you still got Bama, and you still have some important games that he will be able to be there for.
Yeah, Tyler, real quick.
Yeah, if he's not available for Syracuse and for New Mexico State, not the end of the world. I think this team will survive. Georgia, that's a whole nother beast. Like we've talked about on this show and on the slate. I mean, if you win that game, you have your mulligan, right? For like the whole year. Like you can afford to lose another game, I guess. Like a game that maybe you shouldn't lose. Like one of those trap games that we talked about, maybe like Oklahoma at home. If you beat Georgia, right, then you're set. Like almost, right? You still have a lot of work to do, but you beat Georgia, and then you get a couple more really good wins in there. You're a 2-loss team. You're probably making the college football playoffs, right? Yeah. Especially if you beat Georgia. So it's like he's going to be healthy. Don't try and get him back by week 2. If he's not healthy for Georgia, would only play that game, let's say like 75, 80%. Like I still wouldn't want him to play. He's such a crucial part to our team. Yeah. And on top of that, too, with like how NIL is now and all these players have agents, it's like Jermon McCoy, too. He's going to be a first-round pick. Yeah. Like most likely, could fall to the second round if these injury concerns do start to pop up way more often.
That's a damn good point.
But his agent's going to be like, bro, Jermon, like if you play half the season, and even if you don't play Georgia, like you could get cooked at Georgia. That could maybe like lower your draft stock. But if you don't play, like you're fine. And then you get to play Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas. Like there's a ethical standpoint to it. But like with how NIL is now, it's like these players are going to do what's best for them. But I feel like Jermod wants to get out on that field and help this team win, which is good. And like I'm happy that he's that type of player. But if he's not healthy for Georgia, don't rush him back. Like you have so many more games, and like if you start off the year 2-1, like it's fine. Just like get Jermod back 100% and then go on your streak. Then get to that 6-1 mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on Jermon McCoy's injury and timetable, and we'll continue to talk about what was said today, not only from just Josh Heupel, but the rest of the coaches throughout the week, as a training camp has officially begun for the Tennessee football team. When we come back on the other side, however, we're going to do a little buy or sell on college football teams. Less than 30 days away, I should say, from week 0 of college football. Stay right here. It's overtime on Fan Run Radio.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Knoxville. Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right. Zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in Beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871. And go Vols.
Knoxville, mark your calendars. Fan Run Night at the ballpark is back. Join us Wednesday, August 6th at Covenant Health Park. as the Knoxville Smokies take on Biloxi and we take over the stands. It's all you can eat night, so make sure to bring your appetite. Plus, we're hooking up the fans with exclusive Fan Run swag giveaways you won't want to miss. Come hang with the Fan Run crew, rep your team, and enjoy a summer night of baseball, food, and fun. Fan Run Night, August 6th. Be there.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Tuesday from Knoxville, Tennessee. We appreciate you hanging out with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app or on the local dial, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you may be listening or however you may be watching. We do appreciate your time. All right, let's switch over to college football on a broader scale. We're doing buy or sell. We are less than 30 days away from college football's week 0 kicking things off, and with many teams starting camp this week, it's time to plant our flags on the teams that we are buying and selling in 2025. I've got a couple of them, so I'm going to let you guys go first here. But name a team that you are buying heading into this season. Jeremy, I'll begin with you. I have a feeling where you might be going with this, but I'm just going to ask.
Roll Tide.
Where are you going here with this one?
Yes. Y'all already know. Buy the Tide. Buy on the Tide.
Oh.
Don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. Is that what they say?
No, don't give a
piss about nothing but
don't
the
give
Tide.
a piss about nothing but the Tide.
That's too much Alabama talk already.
But yeah, seriously though. What I'm looking for from my boys this year is I'm really predicting that Ty Simpson is going to be in the starter. So what I'm looking for is we may not necessarily catch the fire that we did that 2020 season with Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, and blase. I mean, the list just keeps going on. But what I'm looking for is some of what you've seen from that season to actually translate into this season, where Ty Simpson, who's been in the system now for a couple of years, even with DeBoer, he's been in college football now for like the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be a comfortability there. The game should have slowed. The game should have done slow down for his son. He is a decent athlete, that he's shown in spots that he's gotten in. But with you still got Ryan Williams, you still have Jeremy Bernard. You bring in the receiver Isaiah. I forget his last name.
Isaiah Horton from Miami.
Yes, from Miami. So I'm really looking for the wealth to be spread like we saw in that season where Mac Jones, he was just getting the ball out on time to his playmakers and the offense just kept rolling. Last year, we saw the effects, of course, of the Saban retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Down leaves, goes to Ohio State. So Trey Amos, he leaves. He goes to Ole Miss, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about that we had to start 3 true freshmen in the secondary last year. So now they got basically a 4 years worth of playing experience up under their belt. They're going through camps now, and they should be coming in more prepared and more seasoned as they prepare for this season. You look for the D-line to hopefully be a little bit more stout. Caden Proctor on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Roberson.
Parker Brailsford, really good center.
At center, and I believe we still have Roberson, I believe, at right guard. We got 2 dynamic running backs still with Jam Miller, and I think Justice Hayes still at running back. So I'm really looking for this team to make a to make a strong push for us to say that, listen, hey, the Saban era may be out, but DeBoer is here and we are still here.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what we are going to be able to do. I still can't watch games with comfortability like I used to. So that's still an adjustment on my part, because you're talking about I could watch a game until the end of the first quarter and leave and go take care of everything I had to do for the day on Saturday. So and I could just look down at my phone and be like, oh yeah, 21-point victory. Cool.
Yeah.
So those days I think are long gone. But I think this year would definitely be fun for sure.
I'll give my opinion on that here in a second. Tyler, real quick, your team.
Yeah, I got South Carolina. I've been pretty high on him for a while now. I love Lenore Sellers. I think he could be the best quarterback in college football this year. I just love his upside as a player. I think if he grows I hope that he grows in this offseason. I haven't, been stalking what Lenore Sellers has been up to, but I mean, he just has the NFL archetype. And this is a guy that I think is going to be able to run on you, throw on you, just be a guy that is going to be really hard to tackle in that backfield. And then on top of that, I like their running back room. I like Rashul Faison a lot. But I think their wideout room is really interesting. I think Nick Harbor, 99 speed, by the way, in college football. Don't know why the hell they gave a 6'5" wideout, 99 speed.
Well, he is fast.
He is
Tyler,
really fast. Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily. Okay, yes, go.
I watched him play football in high school. Went to one of my rival high schools.
Okay.
Really good athlete, freakish player. But I think their offense, they have a lot of athleticism, and as all SEC football teams do. But I think this offense just jumps off the page, as in guys that can just make contested catches. If they get an open space, you're not catching them. I think this offense is going to kind of be like that high tempo offense, kind of like what we see from Tennessee year in and year out. But I think they're going to be really effective. The defense too, they got back Dylan Stewart, which I think is arguably their best defensive player.
I mean, one of the best defensive players in the country, period.
Yeah. I think he's great. They definitely lost a couple really important guys, and Nicky Manwari. He got drafted, I think, the early second round to Seattle. But I like their cornerback room. I'm really high on Jalen Kilgore. He had 5 interceptions five interceptions last year. He's a playmaker back there. Don't know a lot about their new recruits coming in, but they just have a lot of players that jump off the page. And I think that's really important. And when I'm looking at their schedule too, there are a lot of home games that, kind of point more in their favor, I want to say. And I think being at home in these games are going to be really, really beneficial.
Yeah.
So definitely South Carolina for me. Love the upside there that they possess. And I think Lenore Sellers could legitimately have a Heisman year.
All right, real quick, 1 point on your Alabama team.
Talk to me.
I think Alabama is on the cusp of not being a top 10 team. I think they're number 9 because they've got the worst quarterback situation out of the top 10 teams that I had.
Okay.
Ty Simpson, to me, is a guy that's been here, 4 years now, a fourth-year junior, and has not graced the field. That's not a guy I'm getting up for. And I feel like Alabama, every other position is really, really strong. Hell, Ryan Williams is great. Isaiah Horton's great. Jeremy Bernard's great. A great offensive line. Really strong pieces defensively returning. Deontay Lawson and company, coming back from injury. All that I love. I don't like the quarterback situation. And I think Keelan Russell's the best quarterback in that room, but you're not going to start a freshman. But I don't think Ty Simpson's all that. And if he were all that, he probably would have played before his 4th year as a junior.
Now, I'm not necessarily saying that he's going to be all that, but it has to account for something that you've been there, that you have seen, you've been through the practices. I mean, you're at Alabama, so you're pretty much going up against the best in the nation, day in and day out. So
that's true.
That has to account for something. So I believe that he can come in. You don't have to be spectacular. I mean, you don't have to be a Caleb Williams. You don't have to be a Kyler Murray. You don't have to be that caliber of quarterback for this team. Just like I said, I mean, Mac Jones, yes, he probably played a little bit more only because he was during the time when Tua and Jalen, we were still blowing people out. So he was able to come in and get playing time. So not necessarily much with Ty Simpson through the Bryce Young and then the Jalen Milroe era. So that's probably why he didn't necessarily see the field. But it still has to mean something, the fact that you've been there. And I think he can just come in, just be a game manager. I did not want to go that route.
Well, he said it. Well, Jeremy
I-
probably has. He's going to be a game manager. He's not going to be some Heisman candidate.
I don't think he's going to be a Heisman candidate either. But I don't want to get caught up in this conversation that's going on now. But we just need him to just come in, get the ball out on time, get it to the playmakers, and I think we can see this team do great things.
Well, he's been there 4 years and hasn't been able to prove that. So I don't know if that's going to be in year 4. But I will give him credit. I mean, Jalen Milroe would have been a tough guy to take over. Oh, wait, he had the opportunity to against South Florida 2 seasons ago and got benched for a lacrosse player soon after. So, look,
Yes.
I get it. I get it. He's a former 5-star player. Give him the opportunity. He hadn't had a real chance to, be the starter going in. But, I mean, it's all Alabama can do. Like, you got to play the guy that's been there that long. I feel like Keelan Russell will be much better long-term than Ty Simpson. All right, so my buy or sell here, my buy, I went back and forth on which team I should do because obviously, outside of here, I do my own stuff, and I had a top 25 put out. And on one of these videos I did, everyone was bashing me for my number 1 team. And I thought it was crazy because I firmly believe this is the best team in college football. And since so many people disagreed, this is going to be my buy. Now, I could do like an Arizona State, who I think is going to be really good, the best team in the Big 12. I feel like Illinois is a team that a lot of people are sleeping on because of just their Illinois. They've got a really, really good team. 3 guys that could have gone in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball decided to come back. You got a veteran quarterback in Lou Altmaier. Yada, yada, yada. They're all great. But for all the backlash I've received on this team, this is going to be my buy. The Clemson Tigers, folks, are the best team in college football. Last year, they won 10 games. They took home the ACC championship, and they made the college football playoff after a 3-year drought, and they weren't even that great last season. All of that to say, this year's team is really damn good. Cade Klubnik is the best quarterback in college football. I mean, coming off a season where he had 43 total touchdowns, 36 in the air, 7 on the ground, after placing 102nd in the FBS and signal callers in 2023 per PFF grades. Last year, he was 5th at an 87.7 mark, a huge jump from year to year. And now going into his final season, what are the possibilities there? The wide receiver room, arguably one of the best in the country as well. Antonio Williams, one of the best wide receivers in the country. Bryant Wisco Jr., TJ Moore, a very, very strong group. And you got an offensive line that returns 4 players or 4 starters. So I really like the Clemson offense. Defensively, you bring in Tom Allen, 30 years of experience as a defensive coordinator. Really, really good. A significant upgrade than the idiot they just fired named Wes Goodwin. You bring Tom Allen in, and this defense that already has NFL-level players like TJ Parker and Peter Woods, really good. You got Ashton Hampton, arguably one of the top cornerbacks in the country, alongside Avion Terrell. This is a very, very strong team. And the return production ranking is something I do. How many guys you return, not necessarily that were full-time starters throughout last season, guys that started 6 or more games, including the postseason. They ranked 2nd in college football with that number. 16 total players that started 6 or more games last year come back. 40th toughest schedule. LSU week 1 is going to be difficult, but that's a home game in Death Valley, the Clemson version of Death Valley, that is. And then you've got SMU at home in week 8. At Louisville, at South Carolina, your 2 toughest road games. They are the better team in every game they're going to play this season. Outside of maybe a hiccup against South Carolina, who could be a good team, this is going to be a college football playoff team. And I trust Dabo Swinney, who has plenty of postseason success, to have success with this group. Bursting with NFL talent, returning starters, a manageable ACC schedule. Dabo Swinney has already performed on the big stage. I favor Clemson to win it all. That's my big buy. There are a lot of other teams I could have said, but all the backlash I've received on having Clemson has shocked me. Someone commented today, no way this guy actually thinks this. Bro is baiting. Like, are you kidding me? Do your research. Do your homework, folks. This is the best team in college football. If not, a top 5 team at least.
William,
Clemson's my big buy.
2 things. 3 things. 1, I don't hate that take at all. I think they have all the talent, and this is like a football school. They've just had a really, really down, past 2-3 years. Second of all, can you say Clemson again?
Clemson.
Zin? Clemson, sorry. Third, what if they lose like LSU like week 1? I mean, LSU's a good team.
Yeah.
And like this is a team too in LSU that I think is certainly going to be a little bit underlooked. It seems like every year they just have talent at wide receiver. Now I think you get another year of Garrett Nussmeier. Like,
hold on, time out. How do you say?
I knew that was coming.
Nussmeier?
Yeah.
Garrett Nussmeier, not Nussmeier.
All right. See, we both have
come on.
our own thing.
Hey,
here. I'd rather pronounce a play.
I'd rather get mad at me.
You
can't get mad at me and mess up a sentence later.
I would rather pronounce a player's last name that has 10 words in it wrong than a university. Letters.
Fine. Here we go.
Get me off the mic, man.
I know.
Clemson.
There we go. Garrett Nussmeier.
No, that's wrong too.
Nussmeier?
Yes.
Nussmeier. Not Nussmeier, not Nussmeier.
So it's like 3 syllables. Nussmeier?
Nussmeier.
All right.
Nussmeier.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, you see, I hate to be like a John Reed to you here, but you can't do that. You can't get mad at me and be like, oh,
no, I wasn't.
That's wrong. And then do it like a sentence
I
later.
just said it how it looks, though. Whereas Clemson is like son.
Clemson.
Clemson.
Is that how I should say it?
Well,
Clemson.
All right, let's say I have a kid and he's a boy. What would I name him? My son. S-O-N.
Do you say you say Clemson?
No, I say Clemson.
Clemson.
Sure.
Clemson. There we go.
All right, we're
Settle
both
that
right.
debate.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, when we come back, we'll switch over to the NFL. Stay right here. It's overtime on Fan Run Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Ever been the coach who realized the team's gear just wasn't up to par? Well, if I'm being honest, that was me. Just a downright irresponsible and plain bad coach. Then SM Athletics changed the game. I want you to picture this. I walk into their store, a coach with a vision. SM Athletics didn't just see a coach. They saw a team's potential, and they delivered custom uniforms so striking. Our team's spirit soared. From cutting-edge apparel to top-notch equipment, SM Athletics transformed our presence. No more unreliable online orders or envying the other team's style. SM Athletics stands for quality, design, and on-time delivery every time. Coaches, elevate your team with SM Athletics. Call 865-966-3434 or visit smathletics.com. Get the best for your team, delivered right and on time. So, elevate your team's game by contacting SM Athletics today.
Only 3 homestands remaining to see your Knoxville Smokies play this season. And next week is full of celebrations, starting with free hot dog night on Tuesday. All the hot dogs you can eat all night long. And if you're still hungry, we've got all you can eat Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers. Then on Friday, we honor one of the founding members of the Negro Southern League, the Knoxville Giants. On Saturday, we're continuing the fight against breast cancer by painting the park pink. And on Sunday is Cocoa Melon Day. Grab your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
At Knoxville Smiles, we're bringing the future of modern dental care to East Tennessee today. All of the scraping and polishing with the gritty stuff, that will soon be ancient history. At Knoxville Smiles, the future is here now with guided biofilm therapy. Using a gentle erythritol powder mixed with air and warm water, our hygienists can clean your teeth better than ever without all the poking and scraping. Visit KnoxvilleSmiles.com to find out more, or just call us at 865-539-1776.
Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait. Attention on the road, that's the only way. Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Very spirited discussion there on the other side. We did our bye teams today in college football. We'll do the sells tomorrow. We got a little carried away, but also we were kind of crunched for time anyway. We'll switch over to the NFL real quick. And y'all know the saying, like, now, brown cow. It's now, Browns. In his annual late July meeting with the media on Tuesday, Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam was clear that he expects better than the 3-14 season produced in 2024. Wow, nothing gets by him. I wonder how he came up with that conclusion. He still believes the team is on the right track despite the massive failure of the Deshaun Watson experiment, which Haslam deemed a big swing and a miss in March. And saying that he believes in and expects better from Coach Kevin Stefanski and General Manager Andrew Berry, though, Haslam conceded that, quote, absolutely includes the Browns playing at least one of their 2 rookie quarterbacks in 2025 as a part of a complete, fair, and crucial evaluation of just about everything heading into the 2026 draft when Cleveland holds 2 first-round picks. One of those will be Jacksonville's from the Travis Hunter trade. And looking at the current quarterback situation in Cleveland, should Shedeur Sanders get the opportunity over Dillon Gabriel, or would you rather side with Gabriel? To me, I think this is easy. Dillon Gabriel's 5'11". When was the last time you heard of a successful 5'11" quarterback in the NFL outside of like a Drew Brees? It's very difficult to be successful at that size. Kyler Murray, oh my gosh, he runs around. And they run around to an 8-8 season every year.
I don't know what the Browns would currently have.
Well, that is true. But I mean, if you're trying to get somewhere, having
Right.
the wind-up toy running up and down the field isn't very amusing. If they're trying to really fix things, I think they should give Shedeur Sanders 5-6 games at the end of the season to see what he can do. He comes from an NFL dad, an NFL family. He's got all the tools and intangibles to be successful. He's got a big frame. He's got a good arm. All these people critique, well, he's, this, that, his dad's annoying, whatever it may be. The guy can play. And if we're talking about publicity and bringing notoriety to a team, my Lord, the Browns need it. They're a dumpster fire. You've got more fans walking in with trash bags over their heads than jerseys of a quarterback on the team. So I think it's Shedeur Sanders. I think he should be given the opportunity. If I'm the Browns, and Dillon Gabriel, have fun in the UFL. That's not a guy that I think is going to have very much success. He was great in college, but not all college guys are ready to go to the pros, and I don't see the upside of a 5'11" quarterback. We literally got 2 minutes, 30 seconds apiece real quick. Jeremy, your debate on this quarterback situation in Cleveland.
I really got too much to really say about this situation because it's so crazy. But picking between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel, it really just comes down to, who is showing that they're ready more? That's the biggest thing. Of course, the size intangibles, that does mean a lot. But, maybe Dillon Gabriel showing you some Drew Brees-esque, flashes, or something like that. So, but all in all, Shedeur probably is the better prospect to actually go forward with. But there's actually 2 parts at looking at the Browns' whole QB situation between an actual football standpoint and then like a GM standpoint. And that's just too much to get into for today. So, Tyler.
I think it's two very mid quarterbacks, but one has more upside than the other, that being Shadur. I think you got to go with the guy with upside in your first year. And you have your first round pick next year, and then you have the Jags pick where, if they don't have a great year, all of a sudden you could have another top 10 pick. You could have 2 picks in the top 10. Go get your quarterback then. Like there will be guys that you can get. But you got to go with the upside here. But I honestly assume that like Flacco or Pickett is probably going to start off early. They're going to have to see a little bit more from Shadur. Dylan Gabriel is going to be like a UFL or whatever the hell that CFL, Canadian Football League. He'll be up there at some point. But I to end the season, I'd definitely go with Shadur and then reassess your quarterback room in the offseason through the draft.
I thought you were about to go down a path where you took a shot at my Jaguars. Thankfully, you did not.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood today.
That would have been. Well, you weren't in a good mood like 10 minutes ago when you fired shots. That would have been back-to-back segments of firing shots.
No, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
We're just playing around.
I'm just kidding. Perfect timing, though, would be my choice. Shadur Sanders. Give him the gig. All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Tuesday edition of Overtime. We appreciate you hanging out with us. For Jeremy Inslee, Tyler Barbaras, I'm William Pattison. We'll see you same time tomorrow, 6 to 8, right here on Fan Run Radio.
And pitcher Rich Hill for assignment. The Dodgers 2-run homer. Rays leading the Yankees 3-0 in the bottom of the third. Guardians out to an 8-1 lead on the Rockies at the end of 4. Diamondbacks end of 4 are tied 2-2 at Detroit. Scans came back clean on a Eugenio Suarez finger, hit by a pitch on Monday, out tonight. The Blue Jays and Orioles now tied 2-2 bottom of the 5th. This is the second of 2. Baltimore took the opener 16-4. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson will report to training camp on Wednesday. I'm Steve DeSager.
One guy is happily divorced. One guy is